Pre-calculus. In this video, we are going to have a review of ordered pairs and intercepts so that you can recall what everything is that we're going to be talking about in pre-cal this year. Okay, ordered pairs, that is where we're going to start. Remember that your coordinate plane sets up a system where you can have tons of ordered pairs, all these points, okay? The ordered pairs, remember, are always going to consist of x and y. X is always first, y is always second. There is never an exception to this rule when we are plotting ordered pairs. All right, so the first thing I want to point out is that I have not drawn anything on my scale here. That means that we are going to make the assumption that each one of these blocks represents 1. You can make that assumption unless you're told otherwise. I'm going to show you what it might look like if it wasn't in just a moment. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is let's plot some ordered pairs. Let's make the magic happen here. So I'm just going to give you a list of ordered pairs here. And we are going to plot them because it'll be neat. All right, so we're going to start with -3, 1. So I'm just going to start out from the origin. Dadgummit. I don't know why I can't control myself. Okay, -3, 1. So I'm going to start out from the origin. Since this is a -3 for x, that means we're moving to the left 3 and then up 1. So that is going to be right here, -3, 1. Remember that your signs in quadrant 2, all of the x values are negative, all of the y values are positive all the time. Okay, our next ordered pair is a positive. I've got a +2 and a +4. What quadrant is it going to be in? Quadrant 1. Very good. So the x value is 2. So from the origin, I'm going to move over 2 and up 4. So that ordered pair is right there. And then my next ordered pair, -3, -2, they're both negative. I'll be in quadrant 3. -3, -2, right there. And then, of course, my final ordered pair is +1, -5. It's going to be in quadrant 4, so over 1, down 5. So there's 1, -5. Okay, so that is how we plot ordered pairs, in case you have forgotten how to do that. I want you to notice, though, that you can't just have ordered pairs that are nice, beautiful integers. Let's make something more fun than that. Let's go -3 halves, positive, I don't know, 5 halves. Let's get crazy. All right, so if I'm going to plot this, well, think about it. If I told you that each of these is 1, and I've got -3 halves, well, I know from the origin I'm moving to the left and up because it's negative positive, so that puts me in quadrant 2. -3 halves. I'm just going to count halves instead of whole. So there's 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, and then I'm going to go up 5 halves. So that's going to be 1 half, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves. So that ordered pair would be right there. See, it's not horrible. And if it was fourths, you'd count fourths. If it was fifths, you'd count fifths. I mean, that's how that works. We're going to do a video on fractions too, don't worry. Okay, so that is how we deal with ordered pairs. So now we're going to talk about intercepts. So let me erase all this so we don't get too distracted. All right, so intercepts. What's an intercept? Well, you've got two different kinds of intercepts. You've got the x-intercept and you've got the y-intercept. These are really easy. X-intercepts occur on the x-axis. Y-intercepts, you guessed it, occur on the y-axis. So let's say I have an x-intercept of +3, 0. Right there. The reason this is, okay, and here's the deal. Don't get all weird about it. It's still an ordered pair. It's an ordered pair at 3, 0. The fact that the y value is 0 indicates to you that the 3 is an x-intercept. Isn't that magical? Every time you have an x-intercept, you will have some value that occurs on the x-axis, and y will always be 0. Always, always, always. Y-intercept works exactly the same way. Let's say I choose this point right here on the y-axis. That is a y-intercept because it does not go from the origin right or left. It just goes straight up along the y-axis. And so this ordered pair would be 0, 5. What confuses students most about this is the idea of where the 0 goes, okay? If I have a y-intercept, y has a value because it's on the y-axis. The 0 is the x because it didn't move right or left, okay, from the origin. For my x-intercept, x always has a value. The y value is always 0 because it's on the x-axis. That is how your intercepts work. Can they just be integers? No. I could have an x-intercept at -7/2, 0. Okay, what would that look like? Well, 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2, 5/2, 6, and 7. Right there. That's where that would be. Okay, same thing with the y-intercept. Let's say I had 3/4. Oops, I just told y'all not to do that and I did it. 0, 3/4, right? So 0, don't move right or left, I move up 3/4. Well, 4/4 makes a whole, so 3/4 would be right there, roughly. Okay, that is how your intercepts work. Hopefully that wakes up your brain and helps you remember ordered pairs and intercepts.